So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. We want to welcome you in. We've got a great flight plan for you today. A little hang on a second here. It didn't resize like I wanted. There we go. We got a little interesting flight plan today. See how time goes and all. But the main flight will be Warner Robins, Georgia, over to Shreveport. To be exact, Robins Air Force Base to Barksdale. Barksdale is one of the homes of the B-52s, folks. So we'll go in. Maybe we'll get to shoot some approaches. We don't know. We'll see as we get there and how things are going. But for now, this is the Felis 747-200. I have not updated. I just, as right before going live, found out there is a new version. Shame on me. I know they're going to be upset with me, but we're still 1.2.5.4. I did not do the update yet, so not getting the fully updated version, which looking at it looks like a lot of the SIVA stuff, which I don't use. So, but nonetheless, I do try to fly the latest and greatest from each of the developers. So my apologies to Felis. So, but anyway, we're sitting on the line here where the J-Star aircraft would sit. They are a command and control type aircraft for battles and so forth. So we're just here. We remained overnight. We're going to continue on and head to Barksdale. So let's crawl up into the cockpit about 40 feet up in, or about 30 feet up in the air. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't think about that one, huh? 30 feet up. All right, so here we are, folks, up here in the cockpit. Let's do a quick pre-brief, and so we all have an idea what's going on. I am going to fly this on VATSIM, but with the late start today, and folks, we're getting into summer flying at the airport I work at, and sleep, well, sleep is something of a novel idea. So anyway, um, so when I get home, had a few appointments to tend to, and then got a little quick nap before this. So that's why a little tardy. All right, so you can see we're in this. Got Sim Toolkit up here. Um, Now I've got this thing loaded just a little kind of weird, just because you really can't load your typical downloads as the military would fly them, unless of course for like the C-40s you download the BBJs. Um, you're not going to get the proper weight inside. So we make up for it by people and cargo. All right, so for this flight, I think this plane, by the way, is like 80, 90 people normally on board, believe it or not. Yeah, look at that big tube. 80 or 90 people, that's it inside. Folks, there's a lot of conference rooms, a lot of high super secret squirrel communication stuff on this plane that takes up a lot of space. But you're just, a bunch of command and control individuals commanding and moving around the pieces there to get them in the right spots. All right, so we're going to be running out of here. We're showing 234 people, but we're mainly concerned with getting up to the zero fuel weight shown of 438,169 pounds. Okay, then we're going to throw on 70,800 pounds of fuel and go from there. Simple flight, though. Montgomery to MHZ to Stage to Shreveport and Barksdale. We'll fly at 0.85 at 34,000 feet, estimating about an hour and a half in the air. That's a big estimation. We'll see how it comes out. Just making sure. Yeah, hour and a half. So, all right. So that takes care of the loadout, folks. Weather-wise, we're looking pretty nice here. Winds out of the southeast at 510 statute miles of visibility. Clear skies. Kind of looks that way out the aircraft. 28 degrees Celsius, equating to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, beautiful day here over in Shreveport. You can also see the runways that are going to be used. Probably runway 33. Whoa. Okay. We'll give it a shot. Hey, I'm all for it. I'd have kind of gone for 1-4 or 1-5. But hey, we'll do as instructed because we're going to come in on 1-5, 150 at 9, and we got some cloudiness to deal with. Scattered layer at 2800, overcast 36. Beautiful day on tap. And when we come back, folks, we'll be ready to cold and dark this thing into action. And to our esteemed subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. We sure appreciate you. And I'm uh, really hopeful that we'll be able to get something else added to the stream here soon. Just trying to build up enough to be able to get it. So, well, to look at getting things. Sorry about that. Just my allergies are trying to do something weird with that, or I'm getting sick. One of the two. I'm one of those that if I get sick, it's usually the latter part of the spring season. So, oh well, we'll deal with it as it comes along. But again, I just wanted to reach out and say thank you again, folks. You're much appreciated. So thank you for being part of the stream, being there many of the days we're and some of you I know won't be here today because of the late jump in flying. So, but tomorrow, well, tomorrow will also be a late start because I have uh, more appointments to tend to. All right, welcome back, followers, and those just breezing through here. Hey, welcome to Flying with Mike. Quick nod about myself, folks. I do have a private pilot's license, but it has been quite a while since I achieved that back in the 80s, and subsequently it's not currently. I like how that worked. Um, but in the late 90s, around 99, 2000, I found the flight simming community, haven't left. Love flight simming. Started with FS 98 or 2000. Worked my way through probably one of the best sims Microsoft ever put out. Even better than the one you play with more than X-Plane. Microsoft Flight Sim: A Century of Flight. But anyway, progressed FSX into then a computer that I was using ran completely out of memory, wouldn't start. It wasn't because of FSX like many of you love to tease it. It wasn't. It was, I just didn't give it enough RAM for all that goes on that most people don't think about. Neither did this loose nut behind the wheel. So we switched over to X-Plane, and thankful we did. And we're not turning back. Sorry, Microsoft, you're done. We won't be using you for flight sim. So enough on that. We're going to get back into flying here. We're cold and dark, folks, if you haven't noticed. So let's get this bird fired up. All right, over here is the, to my left, which we're bringing into view, is the flight engineer. So let's get the battery, standby power, and I already got connected. All right, and we are on with the connection. So you all can catch this on our YouTube channel here. Let me just give you a quick look to slow it down and get an idea what I'm clicking on and all. But basically the batteries, and I brought the plane on to the ground power, then brought the ground power onto the bus. So the electrical bus, that is. We're going to run some tests right now. I turned the galley power on for the folks in back to get things ready before we start boarding. Trim air is now on, humidifier on, and we are hang on, let me just drop down here. Something just want to make sure. And if it says the word test, test it. All right, I know I skipped over a section. Hang on. I like getting it all the way up against the circuit boards here. Okay. Just getting this feeling like something isn't connected. Okay, I moved the wrong switch, that's why. All right, I feel better now, knowing that it's just that loose nut again behind the wheel. All right, let's zoom in here, get our pressurization set. Pressure here, 3006. Today's flight will be at 34,000. Really hate it when it does that. But it's done it in a lot of things. And 06. Okay. Lastly, but not least, okay, fuel panel is ready to go. Engine gauges, good. We got our 12 or plenty of oil. All right, last thing, we'll do a light bulb check. Okay, this panel's ready to go. Let's move over here. First thing I'm going to do, add some light to the situation, put on our nav lights, logo lights. All right. This step, as far as I've been told, folks, is not required. The cell panel doesn't work. I could be wrong now, as well as the high frequency radio. Especially for those of you about to embark on Cross the Pond this weekend. And again, another light bulb test. However, we can test them all in the front here. Okay, those all turned out good. All right, bear with me a second here. I'm just going to get a quick frequency. Show you what I'm doing here. Okay, on charts, we're going to go import from SimBrief, get the flight plan, and head over here to Warner Robins and hope we have an ILS. We do. Okay. So 1117. Okay, we can actually test the up and down on the glide slope, left and right on the localizer. I'll let my gyro spin in here, so hang on a second. By the way, there's the route. Okay, and it wasn't required. I just needed to get the frequency. All right, so we got to go across the top. Let's get our lights turned up. We got some more to turn up, but we got those at least up. Up and left. See how the needles are moving? And then down and right. So we just want to watch our needles. Now, obviously, we're not going right because we're right of the ILS. But we can see a little movement on the localizer needle here, but most importantly, the glide slope. So you're doing a test of that. Okay. And moving across the top here, flight directors look good. And auto throttles off, autopilots are off. Okay. And I can't think of the name of this, but basically how to set your speeds and your pitch for your flight director. This is your vertical speed. Really like it because it's got the numbers inside. Okay, let's head over here, check this side out. Okay, looks good. Flight director off, 11.7. All right, so you can see everything's deflected, and now we'll do the same thing. Up left, okay, saw everything move. Glide slopes up, down right. Everything moved again, glide slope down. Good deal. All right, so continuing on. All right. So the airspeed's good. Now we do have a test here. That looks good. Set off the annunciators. Working our way across, 30.06. All right, so the altimeter is set here. Sorry, no quick keys here to set it off over there. But we do have a test. This will be the only one with an audible. Okay. And then we can check our push to test 1, push to test 2. Everything looks good. And we're working our way down. Hawker 125, welcome in, sir. Who's got a flight director, I was asked. I do. Okay, let me just make sure over here. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little. Okay, so we're going to do a max indication reset. So all the maxes are reset. Alert, you've all heard this. Your altitude alert. I set for 5,000 because usually your initial's close to that. Okay, again, altitude holds off. Okay, next up, no, none of you've ever heard these alerts.
Pull up, glide slope, glide slope. Pull up, glide slope, glide slope. Pull up.
See, I told you, you guys have never heard that. Now you have. Now you know what the GPWS sounds. Unless, of course, you watch me all the time, you hear that go off all the time. All right. Continuing on, rudder ratio. All you're going to see is an idiot light down here. And there it is right above probe heat. All right, moving on. We got our gear handle down and a green light. Flaps are 0, 0, and up. Speed brake down, or speed brakes are down. And then finally, let's work our way over to this side of the aircraft. Catch these. Again, we have another test on this one, and that worked good. Let me reach over. Bump the captains. All right, altimeter, it should be 3006. It is. Test, no audible. Okay, reset, everything looks good. Hydraulic pressure looks good. Work my way over, and nothing over. All right, next big thing is to turn the radar screens on. Exactly what I just said, folks. The screens are on. Switches are all in the proper settings. And we have, we need to get over here and turn the reserve brakes on. Why? Okay. When you're showing your hydraulic brakes down here in the yellow and red, if you kick on the electric pump, which is number 4, you'll get hydraulic pressure to be able to hold your brakes. Okay, and finally, quick check over here. This one's heating up, and down below, parking brake shows set. Again, speed brakes down, throttle check. Oh, configured. We're not ready for takeoff. That's what that alarm's for. Flaps are up, and our fuel levers are in idle cutoff. Real quick, our CTAF here is 133,225. Unless, of course, someone comes up to change that. Go. All right. Working our way back down this panel. Now, if we had the SIVAs, you'd see 2 of these right here. Don't use the SIVAs. Long story. We're not getting into it till we get in the air. But safe to say, it wasn't fun. Plus, I will let you know, folks, those of you that want the realism, go for it. It was a great time when I had them. But realize this, you already have an aircraft. How long have we been streaming? Almost 30 minutes. Tack on at least another 15-20 minutes for the alignment and setup of the SIVAs on top of what you're doing now. So keep that in mind. But don't get me wrong, it's cool. It's just a lot of work in and of itself, let alone the management of this entire plane. All right, so the radio panels all look good. We're going to stay in TOD, take off dry, not take top of descent like some think. And everything looks good. So we have the basics ready to go here, folks. So I'm going to program up the FMCs. Doesn't take long on a flight like this. So we're at KWRB, KBAD. All right, now let's put in there's flight. I'm going, where's flight number at? It's right in front of me. And you guessed it, folks, we're flying for Sim Air Force today. That's why it's got the Air Force logos and all on it. Yes, it does not look like an E4. You got to go into Plane Maker, do a few steps and all. I'm not comfortable truly working in Plane Maker to do all of them. And the wording, you got to remember X-Plane 12 versus X-Plane 11, which was screwing a couple of people up that tried to do it. So I've chosen, it looks good just like it is. It's going to get from point A to point B. All right, so let's get our runway in here. I'm going to bring charts up here real quick, folks. All right, instead of being here, let's go here. Our winds, 210. Oh my goodness. I am going to go ahead and switch to 5. Again, as you can see, 210, gusts to 17, 10 miles clear. So, oh, we're actually 30.3. What was this one? 21 minutes ago. Go with it. Is it saying 03? Just getting my altimeter set, folks. Okay. So departure, runway 15, no SIDS, execute. Flight plan. And then next page. All right, so now the flight plan, let me, actually we can see it here, is to go from here to Montgomery, MGM, to, oh, ME, why was I seeing a Y? Oh well, you know how age gets with eyes. Makes them looks like Y's. Oh, it is there, MEZ. Okay, MHZ, the megahertz. I know that's not what it stands for, folks, but it was fun. Come on. As they say in the movie, lighten up, Francis. To stage. All right, which one to choose? Well, folks, before you pull out your map, look very carefully at it. Okay, we're in the northern hemisphere, so it could be either of these two. Oh, wait, we're in the western hemisphere in the U.S., not the eastern. Choose this one. Oh, I hate when it does this. Oh, yeah, it would help to be on the right side. Oh, okay, so there's the flight plan, folks. Pretty simple. Like I said, we're just cutting across and then into Barksdale. Um, looks just like that. And then you can zoom a little further. And look at that. You can see taxiways, and all of the parking that goes on. So, I mean, you can use this for a whole lot of things now, folks. All right, so we'll just kind of zoom. Okay, so we got about 140 miles. Okay. Let's go to next about flight plan. Next, and we said 34. I say cautiously 34,000. You can put FL 340 or just 34,000. And there you go, folks. We're ready to go. All right. We said what runway? 15. Looking at the airport. So we're going to just basically come out, work the lane to Charlie, to Echo, and depart 12,000 feet worth of runway on a heading of 146. Okay. And I think we are ready to go. So we'll just tune in Montgomery 112. No weird things with this one, folks, where we have DME2 right here and DME1 over here, but yet DME, nothing like that today, folks. So, all right, so there's our runway. Our course will swing around to intercept, and, well, we'll see. Actually, I think 266, we'll see. There we go. All right, we're ready to go, folks. Let's go ahead and head over here and load the plane. What do you think? Yep, you load it from here, folks. You always start with the calculator so you can calculate. So again, we're heading for a 0 fuel weight of 438,169. Now they're saying 234 people. So what I will start with is 50%. 198. That brought us up to 430. I need 8,000 pounds. Now I can do it one of two ways. I can leave it here and put in, say, cargo at 25% and back us off. Okay, let's do this and add 8,000 pounds. So, up here in the cargo, perfect. All right, so there you go, folks. We'll show 200 people, even though, folks, the plane itself, I think capacity is 87, maybe 90. I'd have to pull the specs up, but that'll be how we build out to the 438,169 value. We'll be 20 pounds over. Now, here's where it doesn't matter part, as I like to say it, because they want us to put 70,000, call it 71,000 pounds of fuel. Well, we've got a little heavier plane, this, that, and the other, and I still have charts up. Shame on me. All right, shame on me for having that still up. Okay, so here's what we came up with. I hit 50% till I got to 200. You're going to vary from like 190 to maybe 205 in those values. Okay, so get where you want, but we're aiming to put the 0 fuel weight where SimBrief has us at. So what I did is, here's my cargo layout. I put 2,000, oh, back that off, add 2. 2,000 in all these bins, and in my bulk I put 1,500, which brought us up. Now, as I was saying while you guys were in the break, the fuel, while yes, we have a great number to aim for in brief, don't get hung up on it, okay? Reason being, we've got a 500-mile, we can't really narrow, you can see I can only do 50s. So there's 535, we'll round up to 550, we're going to fly 34,000 feet. Tailwind or headwind. Now, here's how I tell which one we're putting in. If it's positive, you see the number in the fuel going down. So negative number would mean a headwind. In our case, we have a minus, so we have a headwind of 57 knots. All right, so we'll start there. We still haven't put our alternate in, which is Dallas. All right, so alternate to Dallas. I don't like this one because it doesn't give me mileage easy. It's not easy to find it. Here we go. Distance 210. Sorry, folks. Took me a little bit to find it. And let's end up with a 10% contingency with a 20-minute taxi. Look at that. We're close to the 70, but over, mainly because of the winds. You can add more. Say you want to shoot approaches, you know, figure it up what you're going to do in the pattern. And you got to just keep it legal. That's all. We'll go with the 72,000. All right. Problem is we haven't loaded it yet, folks. All we did is calculate it. Here's what it looks like on a load sheet. All right, so let's go to refuel. Click use data sheet. So now it's going to put in the 79,000 or 72,000 and so forth. Okay. So you could call the tanker to reach this, but it's going to take real time to get there, or instantly load 72,000 in. We'll go for that. Payload. Same thing, use data sheet. Now you can either board them or instant board and load. Do the instant again because I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to wait. And folks, we're ready to go. Okay, and then we'll head over to the fuel panel. You can see where it's all changed. We have our 30 maximum in our reserves and in our fuel pretty well balanced out. So we're ready to go. Let's get this show on the road by running checklists. And each of the EFBs you can do this on.
Before start checklist, please. Gear lever and lights. Down and check. Brakes. Parked. Start levers. Off. Radios. On and check. Flight control hydraulic power. On. INS. Damn. Check and nav. Compasses. Slaved. Window heat. On. Seatbelts and no smoking. On. Emergency lights. Armed. Exterior lights. Hold on. Check. Flight instruments. Check. Altimeters and clocks. 1017. Set and cross-check. Radio INS switches. Radio. Radar and transponder.
Second, let me see. Oh. Okay, you want to be on X pounder?
Standby. Indicator lights. Check. Engine and wing anti-ice. Off. Stall warning. Check. Mach airspeed warning. Check. Auto brakes. Check and off. Body gear steering. Arm. Anti-skid. On. Autopilot and flight director. Check and off. Takeoff warning. Check. Auto-flight enunciators. Check. GPWS. Check. Instrument warning. Check. Flight director computer selectors. Check. Instrument source selectors. Normal. Reserve brake valve. Closed. Spoilers. Down. Static selectors. Normal. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. Brake pressure. Check. Stabilizer trim. Check and on. Rudder and aileron trim. Check. Checklist completed.
Battery. On. APU panel. Check. Auxiliary power. Check. Engine oil quantity. Check. Fuel quantity. 72764 pounds. Fuel panel. Weight. Check and set. Pressurization controls. Check and set. Bleed controls. Weight.
I do need to fire up the AP. So we're going to wait.
Check and set. Hydraulic quantity. Check. EPR computer. Let's see.
All right. We talked about this. Well, kind of. We're going to run takeoff drive. They want us at GA. So how do we get around it? We just either skip or check.
Circuit breakers. Check. Indicator lights. Check. Electrical panel. Check and set. Air conditioning controls. This. Check and set. Fire control and wing overheat panels. Check and set. Equipment cooling. Check. Passenger oxygen. Check. Hydraulic panel. Check and set. Fuel jettison panel. Check. Crew oxygen. On. Oxygen mask and regulator. Check and emergency off. ADPs off. Checklist completed.
I do get a good kick out of that one. We did not check it. Basically, fuel jettison's behind here. Just like it says, open it up, make what you got to do. And I got one more test I do. All right, we're ready to go, folks. All right, so the next one's after we start up. Now, we will not need to push back. Matter of fact, I want to check something We are on the APU, so we can actually come over here to the ground.
Cockpit to ground. Disconnect ground power.
Should disappear. Gonna button up. Hang on a second, folks. All right, folks, trying to find out. It sounds like our little granddaughter that's been spending some time with us, with our daughter. She's now 2 weeks old, and decided, well, you know, she had the diaper under her, and she peed down her leg anyway. You know, and all over everything else. She's very talented. All right, let's do a quick look outside. Sorry about that digression, folks. All right, so basically, as you can tell, chocks are the only thing. We're going to go ahead and pull them after we verify, and we get some Air Force up and running here, so we get credit for the flight. They use smart cars, folks, and it's a good system. Especially to help with the workload that comes with VSOAs. Folks, if you're interested in Sim Air Force while I wait here, here's a link. Definitely read into it because you are getting into one of the special operations groups, which would allow you to fly the low-level IR routes and all of that you see on sectionals and low en route charts. Fly in MOAs. You could practice air-to-air legally, even if VATSIM comes up, because you'll have in it the group you're with, and they'll have a list that they can go, oh, you're allowed. So just check them out. Make sure it's truly, because it is a lot more to this group than just being able to hop in, fly from point A to point B, even though most of the time, that's what it seems like we're doing, unless you're flying fighters and playing the pattern and all of that good stuff. But I'm a cargo dog, so pretty much I get in and I fly just like I do for the airlines. So, all right. I don't know why I'm on this one. What did I do? Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, there's the Sim Air Force, and you can check it out yourself. Look forward to having you aboard. So, all right. Oh, I know why. Okay, let me put my flight in here. Okay. We're departing KWRB. Arriving KBAD. Sometimes the hardest part of this, folks, is actually finding the aircraft, because, of course, you know, there are a whole litany of aircraft we have. And I'm getting a feeling like I may have to one more time. Hang on a second, folks. No. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to find it. Okay, we'll go with that one. All right, we got it going now, folks. Sorry for that delay. All right, wasn't expecting that one. Okay, so we're ready to go. All we need to, last thing we need to do is get on with VATSIM. And that just needs one field filled in by me. Okay, and all right, and let's get on VATSIM. All right, what do you say we go fly? I think it's time. I think it's time for us to fly. You know, I would play that song, folks, or that cut, but I always get gigged. All right, let's do it, though. Let's get ready to fly. All right, so to start this thing up, okay, we've already, I believe, pulled the chocks. Zoom in. Oh, we have not. Good luck. Pull the chocks.
Cockpit to ground. Remove the chocks.
That way they don't have to get near my engines to pull the chocks.
Chocks removed.
Told you we had another panel switch to turn up. We have two, actually. Each side here, this will be one. And why the center is so dark is, well, we'll have to do it this way. Right here at the bottom. There we go. All right, let's start them. Got to have at least 30 pounds back here. Now, we're barely at it, but I go ahead and shut them all off. Get over 40. Overachieve. Actually, never tried it with one. Because this plane, I would bet you're going to need them on. Okay, start lever. Oop.
Ready to start the engines.
Okay,
Ready for engine start.
beacon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of the entire crew, welcome aboard the Boeing 747 Classic. We will depart shortly after we have our clearance and the cabin crew is finished with their preparations. For now, I wish you a pleasant flight, and I will be back during the flight with further flight information.
Okay, so you have your 4 engines to start here. And you have 2 different systems. So you'll be going down. You want to do ground G and D starts. So pick which one you want. I do system, we'll do system 2 this time. I always start with number 3. Turning number 3.
Starting engine 3.
Starter valve open.
Okay, once you get starter valve open, you can then sit here and watch the N2 build up. And then once it gets to 20%, you can then move the fuel lever all the way up. High altitudes, you may have to go to the next level first, which would allow it to kick on, then move it up. I forget what that's
20%
called.
and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Rich. And believe me, we did it in Bogota. We're going to do another Bogota here soon. So,
Starter off.
or one of those. They're fun. Believe me, that was a real learning experience. All right. One thing about this aircraft. Make sure when you download it, you're going to be able to download it with X-Plane 11, but when you get into it, you have to set it up for X-Plane 12. Nothing difficult, but make sure you start the X-Plane 12 version. Otherwise, you won't get stabilized. That's what you got to hear. If you don't hear that, you started up X-Plane 11's version in X-Plane 12. Okay, easy way to remedy that, folks. Come up here, right here on your aircraft menu. See where it says show aircraft for older versions? Checkbox will uncheck it, and that will make it just X-Plane 12. Checked will show every version that's in here. All right, let's keep going. Actually, for this one, I like doing it over here because it's hard to figure out if I'm
Starting engine 4.
Starter valve open.
Okay, back down. You're not going to see much, if any, activity here. All the activities on the flight engineer. Right here is N2 building up. And then, again, when he tells us 20%, up it goes. We're at 17% right now.
$20% and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Now you can come over and watch the dials spin up.
Starter off.
It is possible to start 2 engines at a time. This one seems a little difficult. I used to do it all the time in the ready for pushback version of the best sim made, A Century of Flight. But it is what it is.
Engine stabilized.
Starting engine 1.
Starter valve open.
Starting engine 2.
Starter valve open.
Okay. Remember, the first time he says it will be engine 1, then the second one the second.
20% and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
20% and 2.
Fuel on. Light up.
Now we just got to wait for 2.
Starter off. Starter off.
Just 2 messages left. To stabilize. That's what I was thinking.
Engine stabilized. Engine stabilized.
All right, there we go, folks. Engines are started. Before we run that checklist, okay, we got to make sure these are doing. We got some things we need to do. So let's get on the engines on the bus. Okay, close it. Okay. Alrighty, and make sure our fuel is definitely on. It is good.
After start checklist.
Flight recorder.
On.
Start switches.
Off.
Beacon lights.
On.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Start levers.
Idle detent.
Engine anti-ice.
Off.
Electrical panel. Check. Pack valves. Open. Dual warning lights. Out. Hydraulic panel. Check. Flight recorder. On. After start checklist completed.
All right, before
Flaps
we do
20.
Before we do this, let's get in here and do our calculation. Again, always, is it? Get your load sheet data in to start with. Actually, we could go flaps 10.
Flaps 5. Flaps 10.
Letting it tell me a lot. Okay, so we're on a 12,000 foot runway. Airport elevation 294, so we'll set 300. 150. Dry. Temperature here 29. 3003. $210 at 10. All right, we are ready to go. All right, folks, what we did is basically just set our performance calculation for takeoff. It's right next to checklists. Then we, once we click load sheet, it'll set our data. Then we just come in and do runway length, set that to proper length, airport elevation as close as you can get, round up or down. Runway heading, same thing, slope you can get from some toolkit. Runway condition, kind of self-explanatory. Then you get your outside air temperature, which is in the METAR strip. Your pressure's in the METAR strips, and so is your wind. So you've got all of this set. here's what we come out with flaps 10, okay. We're looking at a V1 of 116, 123, 143 for V2. Flap up speeds, speed configurations. So we require 2,300 feet of runway for takeoff. Stage trim will go to 3, initial pitch to 18 degrees, optimal climb to 10,000 feet is 293 knots. That's what you got here. Now, as we get closer to Barksdale, we'll switch to the landing performance. We'll basically do exactly the same thing except it's geared for landing. So we're ready for taxi. Just gonna get some things set up here real quick so we can just kind of breeze through it.
Cabin crew, arm slides.
Flight controls. Okay, fuel feed. Half cargo. Okay, getting some things set up so when I tell it, we can just half cargo.
All doors are closed and armed.
Taxi checklist, please.
Flaps. Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Takeoff data, EPR and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check.
Stabilizer trim.
Hold on.
I know what it's wanting. I'm doing the flight control check real quick. Okay. What it's wanting is to make sure that green light will cover our stage trim setting.
Set in green band.
Probe heat.
On.
Flight controls.
Check.
Yaw dampers.
Check.
Seat belts and shoulder harness.
Check.
APU. Off. Fuel heat. Off. Totalizer and gross weight. Set. Flight engineer and pilot panels. Check. Aft cargo heat. Normal. Seat belts and shoulder harness. Check. Taxi checklist completed.
All right, Atlanta's up, so let me switch. They may tell me to go to common traffic for departure, which I will be happy with. All right, let's get our clearance from clearance. Atlanta Center, Sim Air Force 18 at Warner Robins. Request IFR clearance to Barksdale.
Bank 3878, Atlanta, hello. Sim Air Force 8, I don't got a flight plan on file for you.
We'll see what's going on. Sorry about that.
Walker 4203, confirm we're cleared down to 240.
Walker 4203, affirmative, cross, Dutchy, out of maintain, bubble 240.
Dutchy at 240, Walker 4203.
Walker 4203, connect Jacksonville Center 132, or correction 135.902.
13592, thanks sir, Walker 4203.
Out of 1073, what?
Just waiting to see if my flight plan files, and if so, then I'm going to disconnect and see if I screwed up in putting things in. Usually it does.
Atlanta Center, Delta 1073, with you at flight level 320. Delta 1073, Atlanta, hello. 1511, climb maintain level 350. Delta 1511, climb and maintain level 350.
350, Delta 1511.
Up. I figured it out. Forgot the one. Give it a second to reload here, folks. Sorry about that. I mistyped the wrong information. Just giving it a couple seconds to get in the system. Atlanta Center, Sim Air Force 18. I believe we have the right flight plan in there now, headed under the wrong call sign.
Sim Air Force 18, you do, it's on request. Sim Air Force 18 is cleared to the Barksdale Airport as filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect level 340. 1 minutes after departure. Departure is this frequency. Squawk 4166.
Okay, Sim Air Force. It's not going to do anything, folks. Atlanta Center, Sim Air Force copies, cleared Barksdale as filed, initial climb to 5,000, 4,000 at 10 minutes after departure. Frequency for departure is here, and 4166 will put in the box. We're ready to taxi.
Sim Air Force 18, readback is correct, and just advise holding short of the active.
Roger, we'll be holding short 15 for your awareness.
Better. Delta 1511, connect Jacksonville Center, 135.902.
3592, Delta 1511, so long.
Bye-bye. Walker 2632, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 minutes, correction 30 miles, opposite direction. It's an Airbus level 320. We're looking.
All right, folks. Now this is that kind of clearance I told you about. So you got 10 minutes.
It's
I believe we're cleared to climb without having to get instructions once we release brakes. So here we go. We're cleared to taxi. Okay, area is clear. I know, real pilots go, I wish I could do that. Set 400 here. All right, and initial climb 5,000 on 146. Okay, here we go.
American 466, hello, you said your radio check, you're loud and clear.
Cabin ready.
Alright, we're taxiing out to 15. I wanted to just let him know that, in case he had different information to tell me I'm on the wrong active. But with a wind of 200, you're like right in between, folks. Okay, let's get the before takeoff started. Icing considerations, cabin alert transponder, TARA. Ignition, we'll go to flight start here in a minute. Let's get up here, make sure we're not wandering off this 200-foot wide taxiway. And away we're getting ready to go, folks. Yeah, we're definitely on there now. I can see us on SimBrief. Okay. Alright, so folks, again, a little delay in getting going today because being a little sleepy after work. But we're underway here, about an hour and a half into it. About an hour and a half flight, and we'll see what we do when we get over to Barksdale. So let's finish that up. Said we need to get these in flight start. It's real simple, folks. There is a hotkey for it right there, and then at the end you can click them down.
American 1297, 0918 center, taxi via Echo and advise the way short.
See the wheel trucks here, folks?
311 heavy, Atlanta Center, runway 26 left, taxi via Alpha, and hold short on runway 26 right at the approach end.
Stabilized.
We'll be disengaging that on the runway.
Afternoon, Atlanta Southwest 2775, 29.4 for 390.
No, it's 2070-75, Atlanta Center, hello.
Alright, that's kind of funny. We don't have a hold short line, just an ILS hold. Interesting. Okay. Let's do that check. We will skip over the body gear steering and some of this. PAX valves, let's do it.
Before takeoff checklist.
Icing considerations.
Check.
Cabin alert.
Check.
Transponder.
Check.
Ignition.
Flight start.
Body gear steering.
You're going to check because we're going to get it on the runway.
Back valves. Closed. Pressurization mode selector. Auto. Fuel boost pumps. On. Cross feed valves. Check. Before takeoff checklist completed.
Alright, next one's after we take off. Actually, it'll be above 10,000 feet. So, alright, here we go. Atlanta Center, Sim Air Force 18, ready to go. Runway 15 here at Robbins Air Force.
Sim Air Force 18, fly, runway heading, runway 15, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, Sim Air Force 18 Heavy.
Film 621 Heavy, it's going to be the ILS restriction, the ILS runway 27 left approach.
ILS 27 left, KLM 621.
That is kind of funny.
3878, descent at pass discretion, maintain for hold 240.
Pass discretion 240, spare wind 3878.
466, Atlanta Center, runway 18 left, taxi via Charlie. FedEx 311 Heavy at the approach end, cross runway 26 right and turn left on Bravo.
Okay, timer on. Here we go.
Cross set.
knots. V1, rotate.
Protection KM 621 Heavy, clear like Silva, descend and maintain 8,000.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Shit, direct double out, descend 8,000, correction, KM 621.
KM 621, just verify Silva, it's on the ILS runway 27, left the bridge. Sierra Lima Lima Victor Alpha.
Sierra Lima Victor Victor Alpha, KM 621.
Atlanta Center, hello, Delta 26.92 south on the Bossier taxi.
At a 2629 Atlanta Center, runway 278, taxi via Lima Lima Charlie.
27 right, Lima Charlie, Delta 135.
Target 1297, fly runway heading, runway 18 center, clear for takeoff. Target 466, fly runway heading, runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
Flaps 5.
Atlanta Center, Sim Air Force 18's off Robbins Air Force Base through 3500.
Sim Air Force 18, Atlanta Center, radar contact, climb and maintain, level 340.
4,000 for flight level 34,000, Sim Air Force 18.
FedEx 311, RNAV to Snuffy, runway 26 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Snuffy 26 left, clear for takeoff, FedEx 311.
Sim Air Force 18, correct Macon.
Correct Macon for Sim Air Force 18.
Correction, Sim Air Force 18, clear like Montgomery. That's probably a little better.
Okay, we'll set up for Montgomery, Sim Air Force 18. Ah, we blew through our speed.
Flaps up.
Thanks, 3878, cross Andre, out of maintain 13,000 at 250 knots, the Atlanta altimeter 3004. Thanks, 3878. Cross Andre, out of maintain 13,000 at 250 knots, the Atlanta altimeter 3004.
Andre 13,000 and 04, Cert Wings 3878.
KLM 621 at Silva, Corrales, runway 27 left the bridge.
Clear that, that's 27 left to KLM 621.
Market 1297 is our contact. Climb and maintain level 320. Turn right heading 300.
Right heading 300, climb and maintain 320, American 1297.
American 466 is our contact. Climb and maintain level 230 and correct Kilns.
Climb and maintain 220 and 466, and what did you say?
American 466, climb and maintain level 230 and correct Kilns.
Climb and maintain 220 and level 2 Kilns, American 466.
American 1297, turn right direct Weasel.
Okay, direct Weasel for American 1297.
FedEx 311 is our contact. Climb and maintain level 340.
Flight 340, FedEx 311.
All right, folks, just to catch you up here real quick. Sorry for the bout of silence there. Listening for anything Sem-Air Force related. We're currently through 10,000. We're about to run our after takeoff. As soon as I get us stabilized into our climb here. Packs are back on, and we're just trying to get direct to Montgomery.
FedEx 311, I need you to on altitude, like level 33 or level 35.
33 is good.
FedEx 311, Roger. Climb and maintain level 330.
Flight level 330, FedEx 311.
Okay, there we go.
Dylan 621 heavy, runway 27 left, clear to land. Dylan 621 heavy, runway 27 left, clear to land.
All right, there
FedEx 311, correct haunted.
That'll do a little better job.
Correct haunted, FedEx 311.
All right, there's our climb. Let's go.
KLM 621 heavy, runway 27 left, clear to land.
Head to land, KLM 621.
After takeoff checklist. Gear lever.
American 466 Washington Center is closed. Your service terminated. Frequency 10 approved.
Going to 12228, and thank you very much for 86 and of the
Bye-bye. American 1297, resume normal speed.
Ignition.
Resume normal speed for American 1297.
Seatbelts and no smoking sign. Check. Back valves. Open. Fuel heat. Auto. After takeoff checklist completed.
22, the ramp's uncontrolled.
All right, there we go, folks. So
Lima Charlie, ready to roll.
go over here to map.
2329, under the slaw, runway 27, clip takeoff.
On that slot, 27, clip takeoff, plus 2329.
All right, there we go, folks. We're on our way. Lot to this plane, folks. Just if you're interested in it,
Walker 2632, connect Jacksonville Center 135.
742 will get you some information on how to get your hands on it. You can make the call whether you fly SIVA, LTV, I think it's called, the other one, and or default FMS. You can see your hands are full. Till you get used to it, you may want to try to ease into certain things. But it's a great plane, folks. Highly recommended, just like I recommend flying for some.
Good evening, Atlanta Center, Delta 360 checking in here at flight level 410.
Delta 360, Atlanta Center, hello?
One caveat with Sem-Air Force, you have to fly on VATSIM. Now, they do have DCS contingencies. I don't know how that works. I don't fly DCS anymore because of a lot of blue screens in the past. Just one of those headaches I don't want to deal with. So I'm actually kind of okay with not flying in DCS. I know a lot of you are going, oh, that is so awesome. Enjoy it, folks. I enjoy right where I'm at. So, but anyway, folks, we're on our way. Hey, thanks for coming in, showing support for the stream. We appreciate you. Again, a real quick recap.
Delta 360,
I've been
flight
flying
level
on the sim
410,
since
requesting
about
flight level
1999, 2000.
Delta 360, descend and maintain level 310.
310 for Delta 360.
Started with flight sim either 98 or
2329,
2000.
contact, clear right, Gotcha, climb and maintain to level 270.
Direct Gotcha, 270, level 2329.
I hate doing this. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, like I said, started with the FS 98 2000, about 25 years earlier. Went through probably the best sim. I really didn't want to upgrade, not because of how bad FSX was in the beginning, but it was just the best sim Microsoft to date has put out, and that's a century of flight. So I really didn't want to leave it, but I did. Went through the pains of updating my computer and all to get it to run really well on it. Then it ran out of memory. Reason I tell that little story, that's what it took to switch me over to X-Plane. I bought a new computer, and the computer company that I bought it from already built was willing to put X-Plane in for me, tune it to X-Plane. Great company where I got my X-Force computer at. Highly recommended, actually, folks. And this computer has been outstanding. And I went to X-Plane, very apprehensive, because I was very comfortable in that Microsoft FSX. And little bit of a learning curve, as expected with the new sim.
1073, contact lost.
New everything. Once I got used to it, folks, I am not going back. Sorry. Sold, gone, went to X-Plane 12, love it. They have some of the best aircraft. Oh, wow. Why did that not come up?
The 360, kind of Jacksonville Center, 135.2.
135.92, Delta 260, good day.
Bye-bye.
Huh, showing my flaps are still extended. Why? Why are my flaps still extended? Interesting.
Banks 3878, Seattle, Sunway 27 left, clear right, Silva, descend and maintain 900,000.
Second for Spirit Wings, 3878.
Banks 3878, it's the ILS, Sunway 27 left, clear right, Silva, descend and maintain 900,000.
Oh, great.
27 left, Silva, 900,000, Spirit Wings, 3878.
Southwest 22, or correction, Southwest 2775, descend and maintain level 310.
Delta 310, Southwest 2775.
But anyway, so I'm staying with X-Plane 12 and enjoying it. Gotta decide what I'm gonna do here. Flaps not come up. Okay.
This is American 258. When do you want me to start descending?
American 258, your VFR, it's your discretion.
Flaps 1. Flaps up.
Delta 22 at Charlotte, ready for taxi.
American 1297, I need you to an odd altitude, like level 31 or level 33.
Let's do
flight level 33, 1297.
American 1297, roger. Flight level maintain, level 330.
Alright, going up to 330, American 1297.
Who's ready to taxi at Charlotte?
Delta 22.
22, Atlanta Center, and my 18 Center, taxi via Echo.
Alright, we're gonna try something here.
18 Center via Echo, Delta 22.
I may be doing a flaps 5 or oh, this could be fun. Oh, it's going to be a high-speed landing. Okay. I'm actually good. Just gonna let it see if I can't get the flaps to start moving at 250.
Target 1297, connect Indianapolis Center, 119.55. 119.55. Good day. FedEx 311, connect Jacksonville Center, 135, 102.
135 and 92 to FedEx 311, sir.
What? Bearing 3870, cross Silva, at or about 7,000, clear ILS, runway 27 left approach.
Cross Silva 7000, cleared ILS, 27 left approach, Spirit Wings 3878.
Number 5038, Atlanta Center, runway 278, taxi via Lima, Lima Charlie. 279 Lima, Lima Charlie for number 5038. Another 22 fly remaining, runway 18 Center, cliff to go.
Runway heading 18 Center, clear for takeoff, Delta 22.
Alright, nothing's working, so yeah. Alright, well, we're gonna
2329, cross Dutchy at a maintain for level 240.
Cross Dutchy at 240, Delta 2329.
Southwest 2775, connect Jacksonville Center 135.102.
3592, Jag, Southwest 2775, see you.
Bye-bye. Air Force 18, the Memphis Center is offline. Your radar service terminated. Frequency 10 approved.
Sim Air Force 18 copies, switching to Unicom. Have a great day.
You as well.
Alright, now I can actually do things. Fix this. See if we can get it fixed, or we're gonna have to bail into Montgomery. Or Jackson. Alright, Alright, we're gonna have to come down.
1000 level off.
Alright folks, I am going to cut this flight off short. We're going to go for emergency landing. Oh, Columbus, Mississippi. Is that? Not about them. Actually, I'm going to plan for Meridian. Okay, so this flight's changing. Okay, so we're going to plan Meridian. Naval Air Station. Hopefully has a long enough run. I'm going to check both. Okay, 10,000 feet at meridian. Just closed my sky pack. All right, 8,000. Okay, we're going to have to go for meridian. Okay. KMEI. All right, so we're going to go Montgomery to MEI. So I got to alter my flight here. All right, so we're planning now Meridian. Meridian has a 10,000 foot runway. Any weather? It's just via. Oh, there we go. 190. Okay, so south to north. That'll help us. Gust 14. Okay, so we're good. Okay.
Thousand level off.
Seven. Bear with me here, folks. So we're just about overhead. This one. Bear with me, folks. I'm doing a lot of stuff here. 272. We're about to go over. We're headed to MEI, and we're going to dump. So, flight plan, KMEI. Okay. About 123 miles. We're going to drag 250 all the way there. Okay, we're getting there, folks. We're going to do a quick brief. We're going to be doing an emergency landing, run 9. Okay, got it. Okay, we're getting on course. We're going to head towards MEI so we can use that to know when to descend. Still on MG. As soon as we Okay, so we're 112 miles out. I am going to hope for the best here that we can get more flaps. Let's go over here, do a quick calculation. Landing. Our runway, we are looking at 10,000. 10,000 CG. Potentially flap. We're going to try for. We're going to go flaps 25 just in case. And for weather 190.0 at 5,300. Okay, and we altitude 298. Okay, we are all set here. Set speeds. All right, folks, we're going to be very fast, I think, on this approach. So we're dragging it. Can't get the flaps to retract anymore, so we're going to have to wing and a prayer into Meridian Airport. All right. Gonna start a nice, gentle descent. how we ended up way south of this. Okay, we're just going to go. Okay, folks, a lot of things going on here. Sorry, I've been kind of quiet. We're kind of working through the problem. Okay, let's get that descent started to. Let's get us down to 10,000. Alright, so we got about 83 miles to go, so we should be good on our descent profile. Just as soon as we clear Atlanta airspace, we'll declare the emergency landing at Meridian. We'd go to the Naval Air Station, but the runway is, I'd prefer 12,000 feet, but we don't have that nearby. So, we'll go to Meridian, land there with the 10,000 foot runway. And we'll see what we can do once we get on the ground there. Again, sorry for the unscheduledness. I actually was kind of looking at changing up the way I do some flying here. Kind of gave it to us here with a little bit of an emergency. I swore I put those flaps all the way up. And I must have done it when it was way too fast. So, we actually have oversped the flaps and could run into where we can't deploy anymore. So, that's what we're dealing with. Real quick, ahead of us here, charts. And this is going to be a real down dirty, so, but really, we're just flying direct to Olive here. We're flying, we'll be pumping in the approach frequency of, the ILS 111.35, final approach 191, Gozak, which is 6 miles, 1,800 feet, conditional minimums here, but 340 is our one I'll set. I'm just going to dial us back a little. Okay. And common traffic 133.975. Dial that in. 33. Wow, 975. Okay. All right, folks. So that is our game plan. Now, if we have to go miss, and I really hope we don't, we're gonna basically climb to 1,000, right turn to, while climbing to 3,000 on a heading of 250 onto the Meridian 216 to hold. So that's our game plan, folks. Here's our descent. And probably, let me just not say probably, we're looking at 140 if we're able to do it, about 2 minutes to the missed approach point. We're looking for Class D, full 3/4 of a mile or an RVR of 40, and we gotta have 340 or higher on a METAR. All right, so that's our plans, folks. Gonna get fire and rescue rolling here shortly as we get ourselves down. We're 67 miles out and just about into Memphis airspace. Now, when things like this happen, folks, you have to take a couple things. What can I do? Well, I can still fly. That's cool. I got a lot of options while I can still fly. When we lose all the engines, we can't sustain flight, then my options really dwindle. But if you can fly, you've got time to look for where you want to go. Get on the horn to dispatch. Hey, here's what's happening. I need to get the plane down. They'll find the suitable airport. And if it's critical, then you go to the bad option. So, all right, so we are now see something here. Okay, let me pull. I didn't have charts up. I thought I did. Okay, real quick, if I did, we're going to repeat it real quick then. Okay, up here at the top, our CTAF frequency 133.975. Our ILS is 111.35. 191 for the inbound course, and GOZAC 1,800 feet. 340 is our minimums. I have set that. Touchdown zone 293. Missed approach 1,000 feet, then we'll make a right turn to continue our climb to 3,000. Heading 250 to intercept the Meridian 216 radio to Pald and hold. Minimum safe in our zone appears to be 2,700 feet. Plenty for where we're descending down to. And we're about to start running some checks. All right, here's our descent profile. Olive at 2,700 down to 1,800, hopefully on the ILS. I got my 2 minutes right here, folks. I'm sorry, correction, we're right here. No, wait, we're right here. 1:40. So 2 minutes, and then again, minimums for the airport we need. 40 on the RVR. 340 and 3/4 of a mile, which we have all of that as we look down here. 10 miles visibility, and I have a clear sky, so we're in good shape, folks. All right, you can see our relationship to Olive. Here we go. Let's get our checks going, shall we? Because we got a lot to do in a short amount of time. Okay, seatbelts, anti-ice, exterior brakes, auto brakes. Gonna go to medium.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Alright, exterior lights at 10,000 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and set us now to 5,000. Okay, and be 7 miles out. I might steep something. Okay, radio switches will switch. We have not switched them, folks, so they're good. Spoilers will arm, landing gear, and all of that. We will start this at 10,000 feet. I just want to get things going. Over here, fuel heat. Set our altimeter. Set. Okay, the girls, guys are ready in the back.
Cabin ready.
Memphis correction, Meridian traffic. SIMAF Force 18 declaring emergency, flap emergency. Unable to retract past 5. We have not tried to extend further. We'll be landing 19 at Meridian. Fuel on board. We'll get that to you short. 61,200 pounds. 200 souls on board. Approximately 10 minutes out. Yes, please roll the equipment. Not sure if we'll be able to get any more flaps than we have. No other issues at this time. 1,000. Okay. Okay, there's 220. Why I want it there, folks, is I can begin to lower flaps if need be. So it doesn't bug. Alright, here we go, folks. Again, we have a flap emergency. You can see we're hung at 5. We're going to start slowing closer to approach speed here in a moment. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take over. All right, let's run that checklist. Sure, I've missed a few things.
Approach checklist, please.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness.
Check.
Seatbelts and no smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Check.
Outer brakes.
Medium.
Radio INS switches.
Radio.
Flight director computer selectors.
Check.
Brake pressure.
Check.
Spoilers.
Damn.
Okay, no problem. We're right now set to slow us down. We got a little fast there. Actually, I can. Slow down. Meridian traffic, Sim Air Force 18, emergency aircraft landing 19, flap problems.
1,000 to level off.
Meridian common traffic, Sim Air Force 18, approximately 10 miles to your northeast, inbound with flap emergency. Not sure if we'll be able to deploy. Landing 19. there's 5,000. Speed brakes
Armed.
in.
Hold on.
Altimeters.
1016. Set and cross-check.
Landing data, EPR, and airspeed bugs.
Set and cross-check.
Seatbelts and shoulder harness. Check. Fuel panel. Check. Fuel heat. Wait. Off. EPR computer. Go around. Cabin altitude. Check. Circuit breakers. Check. Approach checklist completed.
All right, folks, we are getting very close to turning for. There's, by the way, I believe, the Meridian Naval Air Station, which I would have loved to have shot, but 8,000-foot runways with this setup could be challenging, very much so. Okay, I'm slowing to flap speed, and we're going to begin our descent to 3,000. Interesting layout there to Meridian. Amazing. Not one of those runways could be 10,000 feet long. Watch me have missed it. Let's take a look at it out the plane. No, they're all about 8,000 feet long. Okay, once we get on the OVIV, that'll be a 13-mile final, folks. Okay, so the localizer is still ahead of us, glide slope's still above us. That's what we want. Get past Meridian here at 3,000. Why is my auto? All right, moment of truth, folks. We're slowing to 180.
Flaps 1. Flaps 5. Flaps 10.
No flaps. Okay. Nothing's moving.
Gear down. Flaps 20. Gears down, green light. Localizer alive.
Okay, here's the moment of truth, folks. Very little flap, so this is going to be a bit... I'm going to push us to about 160 on the landing. Okay, 13 miles. Meridian traffic, emergency aircraft sim Air Force 13, OVIV 13 miles out, gear down, unable to get flaps past 5.
Flaps 25. Flaps 30.
In case someone's telling me something in there, I don't see it. Hawker's got a prediction in. Exclamation mark the word predict, space, and a negative number will get you one in there. You know what the heck? Let me see if I can sneak one in there real quick. I'm an optimist on this one. Okay. Glide slopes alive. Runway in sight. Meridian common traffic, Sim Air Force 18 flap issue, landing runway 19. All right, let me dial down. Like I said, I'm going to run 160 now as my approach speed.
Terrain.
1,000.
Okay, landing stabilized.
Glide slope. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
50,
Pull up.
40, 30, 20, 10. Check reverse.
We got it, folks. Laps 5 arrival.
Out, off, reverse. 60 knots. Auto brake off.
I don't even know what I did. Felt like a really good landing. Well, folks, we had to shorten this run because of flap issue. I think I'm going to take this one. Watch it be a dead end.
Flaps up.
Excuse me, folks. All right, so see where this leads. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, this one's not showing up like this on the map. But what I will do is park in this ramp here. Oh, that ain't even big enough. Well, we're gonna have to make it. All right. Meridian traffic, Sim Air Force 18 off 19, headed for parking and getting fixed. All right, here we are. Let's see. Can I fix things now?
Cockpit to ground. Put the chocks on.
Chocks are on.
I will be right back. All right, folks, since we're all fixed up, I just got cleared. We're going to attempt to continue on. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. We'll... I've actually never tried this, so bear with me.
Taxi checklist completed.
Okay. All right. Well, let me get a couple. Okay, this may not be a good idea. I think I am going to have to shut down. Well, folks, I think this just changed my whole idea. Things are setting up as if we were shutting down, so... Alright, well, I guess that's going to change my mind. I guess we are going to have to shut down. I'm going to see if it's going to let me... But that is just a bummer. We are going to have to cut this short. Well, I was kind of hoping to take it on from here. So, well, that just changed everything. So, all right, well, let me get the APU up and running real quick. Okay, there it goes. All right, APU is on. Leads on. All right, folks, well, we're going to have to call it. Really bummed about that. Ugh. And we'll do a real quick recap here as soon as I get shut down. Okay. Sometimes that part just irritates me. But anyway, we're on the ground here. Looks like we're here for a little bit of time. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry that we screwed up and missed that on the flaps. Let's do our quick recap here. Sim Toolkit. I'm really not sure how Sim Toolkit will show this. We landed at 335 feet per minute. I think I saw something that Hawker got it. I might not have got mine in time. Oh, well, Hawker wins. All right. But anyway, we're halfway there, folks. We are going to take a look here on Sim Toolkit. Let's go ahead, call it. All right, so we flew for an hour and a half, 500 miles, burned about 4,300 pounds or kilos of fuel, and landed at 335, 171 knots. Now, I knew this was going to be a fast landing because the flaps weren't extending. Looking at our profile here. Okay, now granted, it's not going to have a lot of information because none of this was planned, folks. This is one of those unscheduled landings due to an issue. We had one, we just had one at the airport yesterday. So, oh, there's 135s here. I did not know that. Right there. I thought that was the terminal. All right, well, we could have parked up there. Oh, well, we actually, I'll show you what I mean, how it didn't match up. We're actually right here. This taxiway is, actually, this is how it is on my map. But it's actually looping up here somehow. But anyway, that's where we're parked. But overall, looks like we did a good landing. Pretty close to the center line. And about 900 feet down the runway, maybe less. You all can squabble over it. Remember, these are 500 feet apart. Roughly 1,000 feet down the usable portion of the landing area is your aiming point. So we're right where we needed to be, especially with a flap issue, more runway, more stopping distance. So, and if you are running this way, you can go into the displacement rollout. However, you're not supposed to land in here. But anyway, overall, good flight. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, folks. I was really hoping to press on to our goal of Barksdale. You know what that just means? Another flight sometime. So let's cue up some music here and we'll wrap it up tomorrow. We will be back at it. Again, bear with me, folks. Tomorrow I have appointments in St. Louis, so God knows when I'll get back. Let's see. What is tomorrow? 6:15. No, 16. So what I am planning because of that is another hour flight, hour and a half, barring the flaps get all the way up. No, it'll be for American Virtual or Virtual American, however they say their name, flying one of the tallest birds from JFK to Charlotte. So whenever I get home, we'll fire it up. I think I have the schedule. Hang on a second. I can let you know because I can scroll down here. We are scheduling it after 1500 Zulu. Oh, that's Wednesday. Disregard. Why is this saying April? What? Hang on a second. I know. Okay, the updated schedule for some reason is not up here at Twitch. Bear with me a second, folks. Got a couple seconds to use up here. Well, I'll be doggone. It sure as heck is saying that. Well, dang it. All right, tomorrow. Hang on a second. I'm going to try something. Okay, so I basically set it to be determined. Good chance it's going to be after 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And there is always that possibility if it gets too late, I just won't fly it. So just be, I'll send a message out with the status. Not sure why that didn't work like it was supposed to. It kind of irks me. Oh well, nothing to, no milk to cry and, cry over here. So we will just endeavor to be up if we can, as soon as possible. So for now, folks, I hope you all have a blessed day. God bless you, and we will try to be up tomorrow. Fingers crossed we'll get back from St. Louis quickly. Y'all have a great night. We'll look for someone, for those of you on Twitch, to hand this off to. But for now, gonna sign off and see you tomorrow. Well, folks, we weren't able to find anyone, so we're just gonna wrap this up. Y'all have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. God bless.